and I am the Chief Executive of Youth Aliyah Child Rescue. Before we start, I want to welcome all of you. I'm so excited. We've got people here from all over the world joining us. Such is the reach of Srugim and the popularity of Israeli television and film these days. So it's fantastic to have you all here. Thank you. There are people in America joining us on their lunch breaks, people in Israel joining us right before bedtime, and people in England who have just finished dinner. So welcome to you all. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about Youth Aliyah Child Rescue and the reason that we're here tonight. So our charity's been in existence since 1933. And initially the response to the rise of the Nazi party in Germany and all of the associated problems with that. Today, the youth villages that were established at that time for children who were coming to what would become the state of Israel without family, today those youth villages still exist, and their mission has changed somewhat. They still do become home and family and community to immigrant children from all over the world as they've continued to come from other countries to find a home and a safe haven and an opportunity for a better life in Israel. About 50% of the children that we support come from all over the world, from I think at the moment 26 different countries are represented. The dominant countries are still Ethiopia and the former Soviet Union, but also children from Brazil, Argentina, France, really all over the world. The other half of the children that live in our youth villages are native Israeli-born children, some to recent immigrant families, others long-term Sabra families. And these are children who are coming from really difficult backgrounds, children who've experienced violence in the home. Some have been abused or neglected quite severely. Others are profoundly impacted by poverty. And all of them deserve a better opportunity in life. All of them, we believe, deserve the same opportunities that we want for our own children, the same opportunity to be safe, but also to live the lives that they deserve to live, so that they can fully participate in society, so that they can be very much a part of their communities. And we don't just prepare them for adult life to survive, we prepare them for leadership roles. So our graduates come from a part of the population where without intervention, they would be going on to potentially be dependent on the state forever, or working in very low paying minimum wage type jobs. But our graduates are coming out with much higher than average qualifications. Depending on the village, between 90 and 100% of them go on to serve fully in the army, most of them in leadership roles. They are going on to secondary education, to ongoing education, universities and vocational courses, and are working in fulfilling jobs. They're going on to live fulfilling family lives, and we're breaking those patterns. We're breaking those cycles of poverty, of abuse, of neglect, and setting them up to have the lives that we want for our own children. So I want to give you a quick update on some of the projects we've been working on and raising money for. Our charity is based in London. We raise money here and we send it to 5 youth villages in Israel that are home to almost 2,000 children. The first one I want to tell you a little bit about is at Yamin Ord Youth Village, which is on top of Mount Carmel in Israel, which is just outside Haifa. It's a beautiful view. As you can see in the distance, there's the Mediterranean. Yamin Ord is home to almost 450 children from around the world. And there was a fire that destroyed most of the village in 2010. And since then, the informal educators, the madrachim, the counselors who are there day and night with the kids, have been living in caravans because the priority was always to rebuild the facilities used by the children. Together with 7 other partners from around the world, we are building 8 family homes for those informal educators so they and their families can live there in actual homes because they live there year round. That is their level of commitment to the kids in the villages. So we are building one of 8 family homes for informal educators. Next, I want to tell you about a scholarship that we administer through Youth Aliyah Child Rescue, and this is this year we have our first recipient of this scholarship. His name is Tariku. Tariku is a graduate of Yemin Ord. I think it is truly remarkable that Tariku came from Ethiopia at the age of 15, and he's now in medical school. He served as a medical officer in the army. He has a bachelor's degree in emergency medicine and is now in medical school to become an MD, a doctor. And we were very proud to give him a scholarship to help him to start his next leg of his journey. I think for anyone to get into medical school is remarkable, but for someone to do it in a second and a third language, just a few short years after emigrating, is amazing. So we're very, very proud to offer him that scholarship. The next program, we do lots of stuff. The next program I want to tell you about is Alonei Yitzchak Youth Village. Alonei Yitzchak is a secular Zionist village near Binyamina, and they have an amazing agriculture program, and they have an organic vineyard. And they were selling their organic grapes to the Carmel wineries. And so together with some of our donors, we have funded an entire winemaking program where we have partnered with a local winemaker who comes in and teaches the children how to make wine from beginning to end, literally from planting the vineyards to designing the label, bottling the wine and marketing it. So we funded the program and all of the equipment, and these young people are going to come out of school as experienced winemakers, so they have an opportunity to work in an industry that is blossoming in Israel at the moment. So that's very, very exciting, and we're really proud to have done that. The first bottles have been produced, and personally I can't wait to get to Israel again so that I can enjoy a glass or 6. And finally, I want to tell you about a project that we are working on at the moment, and any donations that, that we receive as a result of this evening will go directly to this project. So Talpiot Youth Village is located in Hadera. The children that come to Talpiot are our youngest children. They come from the age of 5. They're also children who've really had it the hardest. These are children who are removed from harmful home environments. And many of them for the first time are living in a family environment where somebody's cooking for them, somebody is making sure they have clean clothes, somebody's actually listening to them at the end of the day, someone's making sure they get up and go to school. One of the many ways that these children are supported in healing from the traumatic beginnings that they've had to their lives is through animal-assisted therapy. This has been going on at Talpiot for 12 years now. It's incredibly successful. Children who can't talk about their difficulties in any other way can open up when they have an animal in their hands. They can tell their own stories through the animals or to the animals. The therapists are specially trained in this field, where Israel is really at the forefront of this field of therapy globally. And Talpiot is one of the first places to have started doing it. So it's incredibly well recognized. Already we have 70 children per week receiving therapy, but the facilities are, as you can see, old. and really at the end of their life. And so we're raising money to rebuild and expand the therapy center. At the moment, there's one therapy room. The roof leaks when it rains, and it's cold and damp and smelly and horrid, and the children don't really love being in there. We are expanding it to renovate 4 rooms. So we're going to have a lot more space, which means we'll be able to serve a lot more children. And we're going to renovate all of the living areas for the animals, which will be good for their health. So the incredible news is any donation that you make tonight, we have an anonymous donor who has incredibly generously offered to match your gift 4 times over. So anything that you choose to give will have a huge impact. If you choose to give £5, we will receive £25, which will go, all of it, directly to the Animal Therapy Centre. If you choose to give £100, it becomes £500. So anything that you can give will be, I promise you, very, very well used and very much appreciated. So with all that said, I want to say thank you to that donor. Thank you in advance to all of you for listening to me when I know that you're not really here to listen to me. And thank you for being here with us. I'm going to move on to the stars of the show. Before I start, I'll give you a couple of quick housekeeping things. Know that we can't see you. You can see us, but we can't see you. So you can get comfortable, you can snack and enjoy your evening and put your feet up in the comfort of your own homes. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen, you may need to hover your mouse or your finger. There is a Q&A box. You can type in questions for our guests at any point, and at the end of the evening, I will read your questions to them. So feel free at any time to type those in. And I just want to let you know that we are recording this. We will put it on our website next week. So if you don't want us to use your name when I read the questions, then please post it anonymously or just write a note in your question saying, please don't use my name. Other than that, it should be fine. So with no further ado, I want to introduce actress and friend Liraz Chamami. Liraz is an Israeli actress who is mostly known for her roles in the series Maniac, Unchained, Asylum City, and a movie that is a Black comedy called Happy Times. In 2012, she met her husband, Ben Knoller, when she played Jessica, Shylock's daughter in The Merchant of Venice, for the Hadbima National Theatre in the Globe to Globe Festival at the Globe Theatre here. Since their marriage in 2014, she pursues her career in Israel while living in England. And in 2019, their daughter Aria was born, and I can attest to the fact that she is fine. Just last week, Liraz was nominated by the Israeli Academy of Film and Television for the award of Best Lead Actress in a Drama for her work in Maniac. An incredible achievement. We're so proud of her. So Liraz, welcome to the screen. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And I will also say that Liraz is a friend of mine, and she arranged for this whole evening for us. So thank you, Liraz. I'm going to leave your screen now so that you can do your thing.
Thank you so much. I'm going to start very quickly because obviously we want to listen to Ohad and Tali, and so am I. I want to hear them too. I just want to give you an honest disclosure and tell you that Ohad is one of my best friends in Israel. And as soon as we came up with this idea, Dalia and myself, I was obviously thinking immediately about Ohad, and I immediately asked him to recruit Tali to this event. And because they both have very rich careers, and I know they would have lots to tell us. So Tali and Ohad met on the set of Srugim, but their careers took different paths. So we're going to talk to them about the time they spent together on the set of Srugim and about everything that they've been doing since then. So Tali and Ohad, let's welcome you. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
What good?
Great, very excited.
Good evening. So I'm just gonna start immediately because I'm sure there's lots to talk about and I'm sure everybody wants to hear you out. So you both did quite a lot before you started Srugim. Tali, I know that you started your first lead role. You got it while you were in acting school.
Yeah, on the second year of I learned at Yoram Levinstein studio in Tel Aviv. And on the second year, I got the first part in Michaela. It was kind of a telenovela, Israeli telenovela. And that was the real acting studies for me. To jump to the real world and just
you jumped immediately. Basically, it's pretty rare that people get their first lead even before finishing their 3 years in acting studio. And Ohad, I know that you did quite a lot even before acting. Before your acting studio, but then your big break was in 2002 with the film Yossi and Jagger, which I'm sure all your fans already know and probably watched it. So I wanted to ask you both. So I wanted to ask you both, when you were on the set of Srugim, after you came with your luggage and experience, did you feel like you're doing something different? Did you feel that it's going to be very successful as it was and still?
I'll start with it. Well, actually not. I thought it's cute. The premise of the series was Jewish friends. Jewish Israeli friends, so it's supposed to be very light, I think, light and comic, and I didn't have any idea that it's going to be that great. I thought it's good, but I didn't know it will spread in the world. I didn't know it will be a success in Israel, and actually, I think that is a good thing. That is a good start for artistic adventure or for a series that you don't know that it's going to be something, and you're just invested in the work, not knowing what to expect of it. So no, I didn't know, but it was really fun from the beginning, and I really love the cast, everyone. I knew Tali's work before. I think we even did something in theater before. And I wanted to,
right. Now I remember. Liraz asked me and I didn't, and
we did work in theater before, and I wanted to work with her for a long time, and as well with Sharon and Amos Tamam and Sharon Fauster. I knew her only then, who was the actress of Reut. And I thought they are all great, and I want to work with them. It was fun to work with them.
Tali, what was it like for you? Did you feel it's something different? Did you feel it's...
First of all the subject was very new for me because I came from a very different world, and I was really away from this religion world. I grew up in a very actually atheist family, and we never did blessings and all this stuff I had to learn because I didn't know anything. So it was really new for me and very exciting to get inside this world. And the director, Lazy Shapira, was religious too, and is kind of came from a different world, and it was really interesting to work together because he brought something very delicate and naive, and it was new for me, and I didn't know that there's gonna be such a I'm sorry about my English.
No, go for it. It's
I'll
fine.
do it on pantomima. Okay. Whoa. After the show came out, and I think it was the first time. Overwhelming, yeah, because there was a whole I mean, all the religious people were like, it's the first time they put the story on the television, and some of them was like, wait, this is not true, this is not our life, and some of them, wow, this is our life, everyone can see it now, and it was really different by then because now it was like 10 years ago. How many years?
Yeah. 12 years ago.
Yeah, and there weren't such a lot of Israeli series, but
there was no social media.
No selfie, no Facebook.
No selfie, no Facebook. Facebook was, I think, it didn't exist at that time.
But Facebook was very
it was very new. I remember it was at my second year of acting school. It only started, and usually people had 50 friends, and that's it.
So that was a different time.
People haven't used Facebook like we use it today in order to recommend each other on stuff, and it was mostly for chatting and just yeah.
And it's the first time that secular, nice word, secular. It's the first time that like secular people got to know a very huge group on Israel that they didn't know, and they see it, and they see there are people like.
So how did you do your research, basically, when you have no social media, you knew nothing, you came from a complete different background? How did you do your research?
Tell them about the weekend we had.
We had a weekend together, and all the religious people in Jerusalem now are saying that they were in this weekend with us. I don't know if it's true. Like every month I meet someone that's saying that, you had this Shabbat dinner in Jerusalem and I was there. So I don't know if it's true, but
maybe they did. It was really
maybe
intensive.
They did, because a lot of people were there with us. The boys spent, I think me and Amos, we spent one night or 2 nights with in an apartment with 2 other guys that really live there. And the girls, it's Sharon and Tali and Yael, they went to another apartment with girls. And they spent their night with them. And it was Friday, so we had like a Shabbat dinner. And it was amazing. We went to the we already knew the scripts. We already read the script. We already had rehearsals. And then everything on script became alive. And we went to the real synagogue it was written about, and the real apartments it was written about, and even the real people that we are, the inspiration for our characters came from
so
them.
you met your inspiration characters.
Not exactly, but some of us. I think that Amira, do you remember Amira, Tali?
No, there was someone called Tali.
But she was, I think, Ifat, and there was this girl called Amira that I think it was you. I think it was Odeya in a way. So, but not everyone. I didn't meet my inspiration. I know who he is, but he wasn't there. but we met people, met people that are really related to our characters, and it was nice. And every season, 2 weeks before we start shooting, I was putting a yarmulke or a kippah, okay, and just live like that for 2 weeks in Tel Aviv, and it was really nice for me as an experience. People would look at me different because in Tel Aviv, it's exactly 13 years ago. I know it because my child was born there, and in this time. So it was 13 years ago, and in Tel Aviv, 13 years ago, it was not that obvious to see someone with a kippah sitting in a cafe. And so for me, it was part of my preparing for shooting, just to put a kippah and walking in the streets.
So I wanted to ask you both if you took something from your family traditions to the part, and obviously now I understand that Tali took probably nothing. But Ohad,
Yeah.
I know your background. I know that you were born and raised in Tel Aviv. Ashkenazi Jew, let's face it.
Yeah.
And
I came from an Hungarian family. We were not that traditional. Well, I was brought up as a secular, but my grandfather was not actually my grandfather, but this is for a different conversation because of the Holocaust, my grandfather died in the Holocaust. So my grandmother's husband that he brought me up as a grandpa. So for me, it was my grandpa, and he was religious. He was traditional religious, but he was religious. He went to the synagogue every Sabbath, and he was putting tefillin every day. So I knew a little bit about it. And when there are, like every season, there are a lot of Shabbat dinner, and from time to time, I'm like doing the Kiddush, and sometimes it's Amos that doing the Kiddush. When I'm doing the Kiddush is my grandpa, Kiddush, my grandpa traditional Kiddush. And when Amos did it, I think it was his grandpa's tradition. So in a way, that was something that I took from my family, but it was very small. But what I took from Srugim is my son's name. I think I told you that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
I guess also
but
Tali
tell us,
knows,
because there's 100 people.
Nobody else know it, so I tell everyone
that listen to you that would love to hear that story.
Yeah. There is something that is put on every Shabbat table, which is called Birkonim. It's a very small book. I guess some of the people here knows it, but I don't know if everyone knows it. It's a small book with songs, blesses, prayers that are related to Shabbat mostly, but not only. And one of the blesses it is called Pidyon Ben. It's a traditional thing that the firstborn, you have to give it to the Kohen, to the clerk. But not the cleric, but if you don't want to give it to the cleric, and nobody wants really to give his firstborn to the cleric, so to the Kohen, so
you need to buy it.
You can buy it from him, and it's called Pidyon Haben, to buy the son. And then the first time I saw the word Peter in Hebrew, which everyone knows Peter, it's Peter, it's Petrus, it's Pedro. It's very common in the Christian tradition, but I didn't know it also has any meaning in Hebrew. And Peter in Hebrew, it's another meaning from the Latin word Peter, or Petrus, or Petros. It's another meaning. It's the meaning is bursting out, and the Peter is the firstborn. It's like the one who burst up from the womb, the first one to burst up from the womb. So it was there in the bless, and I saw this word Peter, and I always wanted a Hebrew name for my son. And my ex-wife, she wanted something very international. And when I saw this word that it's also Hebrew, and it's also very common all over the world, Peter. I knew it is going to be my firstborn name. And when I told everyone in the cast, they thought I'm just kidding. And I remember, and we made a lot of jokes about it. And I remember that he was born, and I sent everyone like it was before WhatsApp, so I sent everyone an SMS. I have like my son was born, and greet me, bless me, or something. And lazy, it wasn't on Fridays, it was just before the Sabbath, and lazy wrote, so I guess his name is Peter, ha 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 ha. And I told him, yes, his name is Peter. It was like, and it was very silent after that, but yeah.
Well, they should all know that now that Peter is one of the greatest kids I've met in my life. And also he's inherited your great talent. And is gonna probably achieving an international career soon.
Yeah, he's trying his best. Actually, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, 1 year ago we were in COVID, but 2 years ago he invested the money he earned in acting in going into a summer school in London, near London.
Wow. So he can start acting in
he's
English.
Really aiming for an international career.
What is such an ambitious
Ali, I have
child.
a question for you that I'm sure many people want to ask because it's very interesting. Your character is the only character who goes secular towards the end of the first season. Mm-hmm. You חוזרת בשאלה, become secular. And not just you become secular, you're also having a relationship with a secular character that now we know that he's also playing in Shtisel, Zohar Strauss, who you also played with the things behind the sun. So you have a whole history together. And obviously he has a history with the international series who goes bursting in the whole world. So I wanted to ask you, what kind of feedbacks did you get when you were getting good feedbacks, bad feedbacks? What kind of feedbacks did you get, especially from religious people?
I think that was the first time that they really opened up this subject, and people were coming to me in the street and were thankful. They were like, they told me that it's the first time that they saw themselves and they felt good with themselves, and some of them said that it's changed their lives and it gives them strength and power to be who they want to be. And I felt it was really like shlichut, how do you say? It was
mission.
Really exciting. Missions, like a mission. Yeah, I never thought that would happen. I never thought that people will react like this. And I just played the girl that doesn't know about her life and was really confused. And this is really something that I could relate to. And if we put the religion, the thing on the side, me as an actress, the thing I was could relate to with the character is someone who ask questions about her life and doesn't agree about anything people tell her and want to go with her truth. And this is something I was really related to me. So sometimes people ask me, how was it to play religious girl? And I said, there's a lot of religious people. Which one of them? I mean, it's not black and white, This certain girl was a girl that has to go through something very deep in her life. And I really like to play Hodaya. She got really, I miss her. I miss her.
She's very brave, I think.
Because, yeah, she's very brave, but she allowed herself to be very, to not knowing, to not know, and to be very confused. And sometimes it's something that is hard to play, because, you know, to play someone who doesn't know, it's like, okay, so what I'm playing, but she's always looking for something, and it was really interesting. I'm really thankful for this role, because all of the people that came to me and said that this is really gave them something. It gave them strength to go with themselves and to
courage
listen to their heart. Yeah, and you know, I feel lucky that it's the first time that I play a role like this in, you know, like in television. And I think this sometimes they put this you know, these religious people that goes outside and looking for adventures. And what I saw before, that it was really like very extreme, but I think this one was really delicate and very she didn't want to leave her world, because it was her family and this is her connection, but she felt she's not belong to it, so she's sick outside. And it was really, she did it really small steps, and I really liked it.
I think you explained it very, very well, and it's really sweet to listen to it after all these years. Tell me something, do you think that if Srugim was happening this time of social media, of streaming TV, do you wish that it would have been today?
It's a good question. I don't know, because when you see Shtisel, it's still to get inside a very different world, which is very naive, and you accept it. It's you attract to this different world. I don't know if it could work today. There was something really very, very simple with this series, right, Ohad? I mean, there's no,
yeah,
people don't do sex. People, it's like, it's so delicate. It was so, something about it was.
So you don't think Srugim was ahead of its time?
It was ahead of its time in Israel, just because it dealt with a different kind of people. But in a way, Srugim was a series about relationships, and most of what we see today in television is not about that. It's about like a very thickened plot. Mostly, there's a lot of violence or a threat or I don't know, conspiration, and something very big has to be there. Even
you mean like the series that you wrote,
for instance? Yeah.
For instance, I don't think people know it about you internationally, but Ohad was one of the creators and writers of the series Your Honor, that is now being getting adaptation all over the world in many different countries, mostly in the States. Who's playing the judge,
wow.
the lead? You didn't know, Tali?
Brian Cranston.
No, I didn't know you were.
I'm very modest.
One of
it's
the
Brian Cranston is doing this role in the States.
Exactly. So what do you think? Because you started writing the series when you were, after more than 20 years with more than 20 years career experience, what is it that you think that gives you the advantage? What is it that you think that you bring as a creator from your work as an actor, you bring to your work as a creator, as a writer?
Okay, I think it's about experience. It's about your personal experience. Every role that you're making, I think every actor will agree, is you are using your personal experience because you have nothing else. You have nothing else to use. And even if it's very extreme, and Your Honor is very extreme.
Very.
Yeah, but something in the core should be very related. So, for instance, Your Honor, the Israeli version, it's happening in the south. I was living in the south. I was living in Dimona these days, and the character is from Beersheba, which is very near, and it's in the desert, and it's like an isolated city in the desert. He was like a single parent for a kid. I was divorced, so I also was in a way a single parent. But there were other things that were very related to my life, even though the story was very different. A story about the judge and a lot of conspiracies and violence and everything, but something in the core was very related to me. And I think it's the only way to approach to art, any art. But to continue with the things that I started to say before, it's very common now to do this kind of series. And in order to make something about relationship and about something very small, you have to be very precise. And this is what I think was the strength of Srugim and now the strength of Shtisel. The creators came from these worlds. It's not something about something that they have the moral reason to do this kind of a series. It's not about relationship in a very general population. It's about relationships and small situation about a very specific society, and that's why it's very interesting. And that's why I think Srugim and Shtisel are very close to each other. And well, they're coming from the same production house, and it's not. I think it's not. Mikri.
Incidents.
Yeah, it's not an incident. I think this is a kind of a
coincidence.
That would find interest in this kind of a creator.
Tali, not many know, but you have your own acting studio. And I know that you teach people from every possible age. I know that you also have a group age of 60 plus.
You did your Google research.
Of course, I did my research. But I wanted to ask you, I've seen that you, and also obviously I know from Ohad, that you take a lot of actors to teach in your studio.
Yeah, Ohad also teaches,
teaches, yeah.
Taught.
Teaches. Head.
Yeah, present with them.
So I wanted to ask you what is it about actors that make them better teachers for acting?
First of all, I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that.
Okay, so tell me.
I'm saying that.
Okay.
No, because I think many actors go to. I think that when you've reached to, when actors, there's always a point in the career when you reach to a kind of, not a ceiling, I won't call it a ceiling, but you reach to a point that you either go writing, creating series, films, scripts, whatever, producing, or you teach. And I think there's something very unique with a lot of responsibility with actors who start teaching. And I wanted to ask you if, because you have the studio and because you see so many actors who teach, but you also see, I'm sure, other people who are not actors who teach. Is there a big difference?
First of all, I really don't think you have to be an actor to teach, but if you're an actor and you teach, then you're better, because you are bringing it from the world, that you went through. I just want to say that my studio is for people who are not, that doesn't want to be actors. So my joy and passion is to teach people who are not going to be actors. And I believe that every one of us played when we were kids. So it's just like remembering how to do it. It's like remembering how to drive the bicycles. So I'm reminding them how they had these tools to act, and they're going through a very interesting talich, process. Yeah, and this is something that I really attach to, and I really love to take someone who wants to learn how to open his heart and to be to use these amazing tools of act to bring into his life. And I want to say something very interesting that goes on the few later years. I think something on the religious world got opened up because the Facebook, because they're out. They see.
They're more open to the world.
Yeah, the boundaries are a little bit got
loosen.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who come to my studio to learn how to play. And so I have like right now like 7 groups of people, which they have everyone in there. And there's secular people, and there's religious people, and there's Arabic, and there's old and young, and all kinds of people. And together we are like a group of people who's having fun and learning how to free ourselves and to give ourselves to how to express ourselves. And it's really amazing to see it.
Ohad and Tali, I want to say thank you so much for everything. I want to move on to the questions because there's so many questions that they want to ask you. They're absolutely, I think they're now tearing their hair off their heads because there's so many questions that they want to ask. So I want to bring Dalia, and I want to make sure that we're going to have the questions. Dalia is going to...
I'm back. Hi. Yes, hi. We definitely have questions. Thank you all so much. So let me go straight to attendees' questions. We have lots. First of all, hi, Dan Cascall, who is sending warmest regards from Boca Raton, Florida. Thank you for being with us, Dan. Miriam Robin has a great question. What do you think Hodaya and Nati would be doing today?
Well, I think Nati is still religious.
Still single.
No, I'm not sure about that. I think there's something very conservative about him, and even if he had to force himself, I think before his 40s he will marry someone.
Thank you very much.
I hope for him.
And what do you think Hodaya is doing today?
I think she's very conservative too, deep inside. I don't think she's religious, but I think she's like she has a family. She's got family. She's a mother. Maybe she's back to the university. Maybe she's doing researches. I hope she's more whole with herself, but I'm not sure.
Suze F wants you to know that this was the best show and she saw it 3 times, and she is asking what I think Everybody wants
everybody asking that question.
Any chance to have either a reunion or another series?
Well, I don't think so, because I think maybe there were some. Maybe there were time they were thought about it, but I think the timing is already. But I think it's a good idea. I would love to play on the 4th season.
Would you say yes? I think that's the main thing. People want to know if you would say yes for a reunion.
All of us. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, we regrouped for a photo, just to do a reunion, because it was 10 years for Srugim. I think it was 3 years ago, and we've met there, and all the cast, and we talked about it, we spoke about it with each other, and we all said that we would love to do another season. So it's not us. It's not like Friends that we're.
So it depends on you people. It depends on you. Just put the pressure on the right people. And
so who are the right people? So I don't know. I just want to say that before we started, before we went live with this, I had a chance to talk to Tali and Ohad a little bit. But I think you missed this bit, Ohad. There is a Facebook group called International Fans of Srugim, which I managed to find in order to let people know that we were doing this event tonight. So welcome to members of that Facebook group. Thank you for joining us. There are thousands of people who still talk about Srugim now, who still are really, really interested in the show.
Okay, you need to read them, the Kim and Jonathan.
Oh, I will. So I just want you to know that there's an audience there. As soon as I posted it, people were commenting, oh my God, does this mean there's a new series coming out? So you tell us who to put the idea into the head of, and I will mobilize this group to make it happen. So Kim and Jonathan have a message for you. They say, hi, we're huge fans of Srugim from London, and you two haven't aged a day.
I love you. Keep going.
What do you attribute the success of the show in the last few years outside of Israel to, and other Israeli shows like Shtizel, Fauda, etc.?
I still think it's got the charm that had before, that it brings a world that people, some of them relate to this world, but some of them don't know. And it's really interesting to get inside this world and to get to know this world. It's like really adventure to get inside and to learn the new. Sometimes it's a new language, and in the end, as Ohad said, it's a really good series about relationship, and it works. And sometimes I think that people don't need more than this, like a really good story about people and relationships, and that's it. What?
Well, I don't know.
There's a really good questions coming on.
Okay.
And I think you would love to hear them.
Yeah, so let's keep going.
Yeah, so, let's keep going.
Okay. Adam Kaplan typed this question when you were talking, Ohad, about your series that you co-created, Your Honor, and he's asking, what's the name of the series in Israel?
Kvodo. Kvodo, it's his honor, actually.
I can type it for him.
Okay. And where can people watch it outside of Israel? Is there a way for us to access it?
Kvodo, I have no idea. But Your Honor was on Showtime. It was in the States on Showtime. And we also have a remake, a French remake, a German remake, an Indian remake, a Russian remake. So yeah, you can watch it
out there. We'll watch it in Urdu.
Sorry, Dalia, I typed Kvodo in the wrong question. So there's an anonymous, someone who asked the question anonymously. And he's asking, which scenes did you have the most fun making in Srugim? that you have the best memories of?
It was not one scene for me, but all the scenes of Shabbat dinner were great. Like all the scenes that we're all together were great because we were friends then.
There was a bond.
Yeah, it was great because it was like 2 weeks in an apartment doing this kind of scenes all that we are all together. And it was so fun making these scenes. All different kind of scenes of dinners together, all the friends together. It was really cool.
How about for you, Tali?
I really loved the scene when we went to the sea and she's getting to do this, get inside the water. It was freezing cold and it was really suffering, but it was like, wow, amazing. It was really strong scene for me, so I really enjoyed it.
It was a very powerful scene. It was the first time that Hodaya broke Shabbat, right? Yeah, it was very powerful. Miriam Robin wrote, I loved the comedy in Srugim. Are you interested in doing more comedy in the future?
Oh, definitely. I'm such a dramatic actress, and I really got tired of this. So I really want to do I really want to do more comic roles, of course.
Yeah.
I did some comic series, but if I'm not crying like 10 times in a role, so
it means something's wrong. Yeah.
I really love comic roles. As Tali, it's not my my ground usually, but I feel very comfortable with comic roles. And actually, I met Liraz in a comic series, so it was really fun. Maybe it will get to London as well sometime. I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't think it will happen. So. I wish. Yeah. Hopefully, obviously our goal is to export every beautiful thing that we do in Israel and to export it to the whole Jewish community around the world. Obviously, we want you to get to know us. Okay, Chava.
Hang on one second. Somebody anonymously is just letting you all know that Your Honor is available on Sky Atlantic. For those of you who have Sky Atlantic, that's where you can find it.
I just realized today that me and Ohad are going to play in the same series.
Oh, right, yeah.
Next month. I didn't know that, Ohad. Today I went to
I'm as
rehearsal,
well.
Then I saw your name.
Yeah.
So it's Fulim season 3.
Fulim is False Flag.
It's called White Flag, and I think it's
False Flag.
False Flag.
False Flag, and it's on Netflix.
Tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit.
False Flag. It's the 3rd season. The first season was about there was something that the Mossad operation in Dubai before the peace a few years ago, where people, all kind of Jews in the world, woke up in the morning and they found out that their identity was stolen for a Mossad operation. One of them, by the way, I knew from the army. And he found out that someone used his identity in order to get into Dubai and make a Mossad operation. So that they wrote the first season, in a way they wrote it about this kind of identity stealing. And every season it's another story. The 2nd season, my son Peter was there, was part of it. And this 3rd season, I'm in and Tali is in, and it's a different kind of a story.
Amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just reading. There's Chava who are going mental right now. I think they're about to lose themselves because we're about to finish. And they're writing, who is doing the campaign for another season? I'm in this Srugim Facebook group, and they're also saying, I think Odaya is married to Zohar, which I think she means Zohar Strauss, which she meant Avri.
Mm-hmm.
And Nati and Reut are together.
What?
No.
Did they get together at the very
He's
end?
making assumptions.
There was something about it. There was a kind of a beginning of something between Reut and Nati on the last episode of season 3.
Yep.
Maybe.
Okay, we have another question. Ohad, do you prefer writing or acting? Have you performed in anything you have written? That's a very delicate question.
No, I don't think I was there. I don't know. I love acting. Creating is not something that is very common for me or easy for me. So there was something very unique for me in Kvodo that let me participate in this kind of a development. But I'm not sure I'm a creator. I wouldn't define myself as creator. As an actor, I will. So I feel comfortable in acting. But maybe I will write something for me. I don't know.
We have a couple of questions, Ohad. In more recent years, you've worked with some big names, and I think people want to know a little bit about that. You worked with Steven Spielberg in Munich. What was that like? What's he like as a director?
It was a long time ago. It was 15 years ago, Munich. Well, it was extravagant. I made several American films, but Munich was very different. It was a very high budget film with really big names in it. Eric Bana was there, and Daniel Craig and Matija Kasovic, and like very big names, very big stars. And I had a small role in a way. I think in Israel they would have taken an extras for this kind of role, but in the States they have so much money, so they can take real actors from Israel that would do this commando scene. I was Commando 5 in Munich. Okay, I don't even have a name. I'm Commando 5 or 4. My text there is yalla yalla or something like that. So, but I had the opportunity to speak with Spielberg a little bit. So it was really fun, and it was 15 years ago. We talked about reality with reality shows and what is going to be with the world. He asked me if I like reality, and I didn't like then, and he was not. He had nothing with reality these days. After that, I found out that he was also a producer of some reality shows, but he was interested in the world of reality. He was wise man, very wise man. He is a wise man, and he looks a little bit like a rabbi, a cinematic rabbi, with his beard and glasses. Very, very wise. You can see it. He's like, you're watching a person and you see the wisdom on his face. So it was an experience. And I also worked with Brian De Palma, he's also a creator I really admire. It was
and you also worked with Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir Ben, yeah.
Sir Ben was in Operation Finale.
Yeah.
Which
is on Netflix, and everybody can watch it if they have Netflix. You should
absolutely watch it if you haven't. It's about Eichmann, but it's about the operation to go and capture him from Argentina and bring him back to Israel. So it was an amazing film. Really, really great. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit, what was it like to work with Sir Ben Kingsley, and also obviously with working in the same room with Sir Ben Kingsley and Liraz from Fauda. I'm sure you had like a bit of a...
I worked with Liraz and Srugim, actually, and I don't know if people here knows it, but he's Israel I think it's in the second season or the third season. I don't know. Don't remember if it's in the second or in the third season, but there's like a guest star. One episode, I don't know which is it, which called Israel. He's like an old bachelor. And when he's like the nightmare of Nati, he doesn't want to be silent. Liraz was this Israel. And it was great. And yeah, we worked together on this operation finale. Liraz was the big boss, and many other actors. Not all of them are known like Sir Ben, but very good actors. One of them is Oscar Isaac, Melanie Laurent, and Nick Kroll. Sir Ben is tremendous. It's like he's stood the force of one person. We were on the same floor at the hotel. I saw him only on the elevator to the going down to the shooting. He was really dedicated to his work as Eichmann, which is a very difficult role. We went out, like all the other guys in the cast. We went out. We went to dinners together. He was really in his room most of the time. And well, he's a big inspiration. It's like to watch him work. It's something that every actor would like to do. You know, I saw his work when I was a child, and since then I admired his work, and it was great to watch him working.
We have a message for you, Tali, from Miriam Robin. She would like you to know that she loved when you read the poem about Cornelia, and that scene was really powerful. So thank you for that. And another anonymous question: the storyline about Roy and his sexuality must have been quite significant at that time. Did you receive a lot of letters or emails from people who were going through similar experiences?
I guess the actor that played this got a lot of messages.
I'm sure he was the one who got the feedbacks mostly. But yeah, it's definitely right.
But interestingly, Ohad, this was not. This was also something that you did when you were in Yossi and Jagger. You know, and it was really quite ahead of its time that you played a gay character in a film that was really centered around a same-sex relationship. How was the reaction to that for you?
Well, in a way, it was very similar to what happened to the character of Roy, because it was the first time in a mainstream Israeli film that there is gay characters. Yeah. And we were army officers, combat officers, and it was very like ahead of its time then. Yeah. A lot of people spoke with me about it. Like people approached to me in the streets years after the film was done. They told me that it helped them get out of the closet and everything. And even we made a sequel. We made a sequel. It's called the Yossi, and the screenwriter of Yossi was not the one of Yossi and Jagger. And the screenwriter of Yossi was a soldier when Yossi and Jagger was screened, and it really influenced him to get out of closet, to understand who he is, and to write the sequel 10 years after. So now we are 20 years after. Maybe we should do another sequel. I don't know.
Yeah, the Happy Ever After sequel. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you personally, because I discovered Srugim. It was recommended to me when I was actually very ill with COVID. And when all I could do was lay on the couch and look at a screen for hours on end, I binge watched Srugim. So you were my companions through those horrible days, and I missed you so much when it was over. So it's lovely to see you again. Thank you.
Bye.
I want to say thank you to all three of you for spending your evening with us. It's been so lovely to meet you and to spend the evening with you. Thank you for donating your time, for giving your time. I know that it's late in Israel now. Thank you for giving of yourselves to help kids in Israel, to help support our charity. We really, really appreciate it. Liraz, thank you for making the connections for us. You're amazing.
My pleasure. And it's only the beginning. We're going to have loads more.
Yeah. It'll be great.
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh my goodness, what a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I want to also thank the committee that has been working on putting on virtual events throughout the year. And also the team in the Youth Aliyah office is a tiny little team. It's Deborah and Nicola and Michaela, who work really hard year round to make sure that we can provide for the young people in Israel and give them what they need. So thank you to my team. Thank you to all of our guests who showed up this evening to support us. Somebody asked in the Q&A how you can donate to help to rebuild the Animal Therapy Center. We will be sending out an email after the event, and it will have a link in there. Again, anything that you choose to give will be quadrupled by an amazing anonymous donor. Thank you. I know that you're watching tonight, anonymous donor. We are very grateful for you and for your support. If you want to just go to our website and learn more about us, youthaliyah.org.uk. Join us, look for more events. Liraz, can we say who our next guest is going to be?
I think we need to wait for the date because I have a feeling that people are going to chase me in the street if I'm going to say that he's going to be interviewed and then it's going to be canceled. So just a few more days and then
it'll
we're
be good
announce.
Though. So what I would recommend, lovely followers, is like us on like our page on Facebook.
You need to watch Unorthodox.
Yeah, watch Unorthodox.
For the next interview.
You
need to watch Unorthodox.
Yeah, but also please like our Facebook page, Youth Aliyah, and
or Instagram page.
Instagram, and also go to our website. And at the bottom of every page, you have the opportunity to subscribe for email updates, and you will be the first to know if you are getting emails from us. So, with that said,
thank you so much and good night.
All. Thank you.
Thank
you.
We appreciate staying with us.
Thank you.
Everybody. Laila Tov.
Bye.
Bye.